another day and another component to make for Jinnie. Now, I know I said we would start on the transom, but there's a really important job we need to do before we get there. Fitting the aft knee. We made Jinnie's new aft knee earlier when making the Deadwoods and Hog. It was made using the same building method as the new keel. Multiple layers of Iroku laminated together with epoxy resin and colloidal silica to give a stronger than strong bond. Don't worry, we'll go through this process again when we get to the apron and stem. We won't be so pushed for time because it will be the winter, and so the curing time will be longer. We might need to help it along though. The aft knee on Jinnie needs to be strong because it acts as a critical structural brace connecting the transom and the keel, managing the intense high load stresses placed on the stern. This component is vital for maintaining the shape of the hull, preventing the transom from moving. It also helps to distribute various multi-dimensional forces from the prop shaft, inboard motor and rudder. We can talk about these different forces when we come to installing the stern tube of the prop shaft. I've gone through the process in my head, so I'm hoping that I've got everything ready. So the next part is that we're going to spread the sealant on the knee, which is hanging here, and I'm going to lift that into position and cramp it at the back. I've got the centre line marked on both the knee and on the transom here, and then I'm going to try and line up 2 of the 6 bolts or 7 bolts that I've got to put through here. I've got 6 of these to go in, the smaller ones. These are 3/8 rod with a 9/16 nut on it. I'm going to try and locate 2 of them first, the 2 easy ones, and if I can get those located and the big one at the back on the very stern, then the other 4 I can work them in as we go along. 4 of these will go all the way through and come out the bottom of the keel. 2 of them are pocket bolts or gallery bolts, so they're going to be more difficult to locate. We're going to have to get them through, get the bolt in the right position and get a bit of turn on them and hopefully locate the nuts, get them on first, then we can draw them up. This knee ties in the keel, the hog to the transom, so it's quite a structural member. Remember, all these knees all tie in. It's no good putting this one in and we don't put any 1/4 knees in the top of the transom to the thing, otherwise the whole thing doesn't work. So they're all integral to each other, they all need each other. This one is quite a bit bigger size than normal because it also carries the prop shaft going through it. And we have actually made it quite a bit more structurally sound by doing a dovetail joint on the back end, one that you're never going to see ever again no more. And we've also put a sort of locking knee into the 2 pieces that we've created this with. So the whole thing's very, very sound, very, very strong. Right, let's get the mastic on and get this beast of an aft knee bolted in. We'll hold the knee in place for the moment with a clamp. One down, 5 to go. Those 4 have gone in quite well. I'm quite pleased about that.
Yeah, I'll draw them up, probably not fully tight, but at least get them up.
So we've got the bolts through and you'll see they're actually lower now than the keel. The keel base is here and our bolts are sticking out. The idea now is we can get enough room down here to get my washers and my nut on and my caulking cotton, and I can drive them back up and then I can tighten them up from the top. This is going to get very messy now. Well, we've already got mastic here, and we're going to put a little bit more around with some caulking cotton in a minute. So the caulking cotton is producing, first of all, like a little washer full of mastic, which will help to bed that on there. It'll also help to keep some of that mastic in and give it a really nice little bit seating. Traditionally, this would have been some sort of horsehair and all sorts of compounds that they would have used. Each boatyard would have probably had their own secret formula. So we're still using sort of a modern mastic, but we're using a sort of tried and tested way of doing it.
eventually I'll tighten up on that, and that will tighten that all up. So that's one. Give ourselves a bit more space.
Let's get the nuts on. These ones have great corrosion resistance and they'll last longer.
So these are silicon bronze. I could have used ordinary galvanised steel, but these are going to last a lot longer. They are a lot more resistant to the conditions that we're going to put them in. The brass, we wouldn't use brass outside sea boats. We're going to use that for decorative stuff. Lovely. Two down.
This is a fiddly and messy job, but it's got to be done. The bolts have to be made as waterproof as possible. Any ingress of salt water would be bad news for Jinnie. Just one more to go. I'll have a look at the most aft bolt next. We won't tighten everything until all the bolts are in and loosely fitted.
This bolt that we're putting through here is tying the whole of the back end of the hog and the keel together through that big knee.
Again, before we put this bolt in, we need to cover it with mastic to improve its waterproofing qualities.
At this stage, with that looking like that, any drop of water that leaks, I'll drink. It's a bold statement, isn't it? Voila. Should be able to tighten that all up now. With a bit of luck. So I've now got 4 of my 6 bolts in, plus my very large one at the back end here. So I'm fairly well located. I haven't tightened them all up just yet. What I want to do is drop these last two through. These are the gallery or the pocket bolts, as I know them. But I just want to make sure that they actually go into the holes first before I start really tightening anything down. That's bloody good news.
Let's hope the second gallery bolt goes through.
You get everything in nice and dry and hope it's all going to line up when you start getting the sticky stuff and the glue and everything on. It's when it all goes a bit wrong. You can't go at it like a bull in the china shop. You can't start smacking anything with big hammers. That usually doesn't work and usually doesn't turn out right. So if it doesn't line up, then you need to start sort of wriggling and changing things. But you know, don't lose any sleep over it. Yeah, you can't lose sleep over these things. There's always a way somehow. That's great news. Hey, so we can do a few things up now. So we've tightened down on our 4 bolts that we've got in permanently, and I've tightened up the aft one as well, the very aft big bolt. So it's now these 2 gallery or pocket bolts that I've got to sort out down below. This is probably where the swearing will start.
This is going to be tricky. It could be a quick job, it may not be. I'll definitely need some help.
This is the point where I really do need Jamie's help. So Jamie's going to be inside the boat and he's going to be moving the bolt up and down, turning it whenever I shout and scream.
Hello Alan, I'm here now.
Good.
In the boat.
The easier and quicker this goes, the less my voice will raise. The harder it gets, the more I'm going to get frustrated. What we're actually doing is we're going in this little slot here, we're going to put a nut and washer in there, and at that point the rod with the thread on the end is going to come down. This is a bit like the sort of thing you get in modern day furniture. This is either a pocket bolt or a gallery bolt, as known as. I have somehow got to sort of hold that nut and let the thread come down into it, and then we can actually tighten the whole thing up. So this will either go right first time or we'll be here for the next hour and a half. Don't stand on the planks.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, because
the planks are loose as
otherwise you'll be down on my head.
Oh, right. What do you want me to do then?
Right, just stay still for a minute till I can sort of. Right, just see if you could push that down just a wee bit.
I can't, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's
Now just try turning it.
Turning it?
Yeah, with the socket that I gave you.
All right, I'm just winding the
hold
nut.
on, it's all come out. It's all fell off.
I'm at the end of my thread.
Huh?
I'm at the end of my thread.
Well, you're going to be pushing that bolt slightly down. Don't wind that nut all the way down.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, how am I meant to turn it then?
Well, I see. Is it? Okay, if you take the nut off the other one, and
Yeah.
put the two together.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. If you put a bit of weight on it as well, and also push it. Hold on. Whoa, stop. Oh. Right, try again.
With weight or no weight?
White bit of weight. Let's come off at an angle. Oh, it's so close. Right, try again.
So close.
No, it's gone. Oh, you.
Oh.
Try again. No, hold on. What is going on here? Jamie, you need to go up fractionally, so you just have to pull it up a little. Whoa. Okay, try again. No, hold it. Right, hold on a second.
I need a little breather, and rethink. Some extra light under here will really help. Doing this reminds me of building flat pack furniture. There's always that one nut and bolt that drives you mad.
Do you know the definition of a ratchet?
No.
A ratchet is a little bit bigger than a mouse shit. That's the definition.
I don't know why that got me for some reason, but I found that quite funny.
Go on, a bit quicker. All right, hold on. I've got the washer on.
All of that for the washer?
Try again. A little bit of weight on it. Oh, yes. This is a he who dares moment.
Go on, you've got to say your catchphrase now, haven't you?
Blood, sweat and tears.
There you go, it's tight, come tight.
Yeah, so now that should draw up. What we'll have to do is take the nut off. Yeah?
Both of the nuts?
Yeah, well, one of them, and wind it down then on the thread, and I can hold it down here then.
I'm going to need a spanner for that. Tell me when.
Yeah, that'll do for a minute.
Yep.
Right, now we fiddle around onto the other side.
Have they got to be set to a right, like the newtons? Oh, what's it called?
Pounds per square inch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to the Allen Fuller pounds per square inch.
Ooh.
Right, let's get the other side done up and get the kettle on. I'm gasping for a cuppa.
No, hold on a second.
As William Edward Hickson said, if at once you don't succeed, try and try again.
You know, I've just suddenly discovered how cold this concrete is. Okay, see if you can come down a little there.
Tell me when.
Yeah, keep going.
Very tight.
Yeah, that's actually there. How about that? That was quick and easy. I really should do this for a living, you know. Right, okay, so now you can wind down on that. As I say, blood, sweat and tears. Okay, go on. That seems really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, let's get cleaned up.
So how do you feel like that went, Alan?
I'm well pleased with that. It's always a bit of a relief when you get a big piece of the boat back in. You know, it's always going to be a little bit of a fiddle, especially with those
2 pocket bolts.
It now allows us to be able to drop the transom out. So, you know, we're on to another big piece now. However, before that, I've got an awful lot of spanners and that to clean up.
Yeah, they're all a bit masticky.
Covered in mastic. I expect you are too.
Yeah.
I certainly am.
Time for a cup of tea, I reckon.
Put the kettle on, let's have a brew.